folks. It's Zach Elliott at Feel Free to Argue. Hope you're all doing okay, except for my vote botter, of course. Saw an interesting Democracy Now! Segment the other day. Amy Goodman was talking to somebody, and they were kind of exploring the whole notion of this lawsuit, this class action lawsuit that Google is involved in. And it has to do with them digitizing millions of books that are out of print, in some cases a few that are still in print. And it was one of these cases where something that starts off looking, positive, getting all this stuff into a format where it can be easily accessed by people, ends up not being really that benevolent. The whole lawsuit is by a bunch of people who are basically anybody involved in any sort of copyrighted material for the past century or so. And as this guy pointed out, and to be fair, I mean, he's kind of has a competing website that offers public access information, but unlike Google, he's not really interested in charging for it. Google wants to have all this stuff so that they can charge for it, because they're going to kind of have the new copyright on all this stuff once they digitize. It's like a digital copyright. And he pointed out several creepy aspects of that, which is that, now you've given basically Google a lot of control over, who gets what information. If they want people to, have access to certain information, they think they've stumbled across a great lost masterpiece or something that was written a long time ago that's relevant for people today, and they find it, they can rank it high, or for whatever commercial reason, much more likely actually, that they find something of interest, and they can rank it high and kind of make people take interest in it. And by the same token, they can make things hard to find in search engines, or withdraw them entirely and without reason, once they have access to all this stuff. In fact, in some cases Google may well acquire things for the express purpose of suppressing them if it turns out it may be something that's embarrassing for Google or somebody that they have a large financial relationship with. So once again, this becomes an instance of creep. And another thing that he pointed out, which I think is perhaps the most important aspect of it, and by far the creepiest, is, and of course, whatever you're looking at inside this Google network, they know that you're looking at it. So this becomes yet another way in which Google, I think it's unwise to even think of them in the conventional sense. I mean, Google is an information mining company. Just in the same way that, a guy who's a Dunkin' Donuts operator is not in the business of selling donuts. He could give a fuck about donuts. He's not making money on donuts. He's barely breaking even on it. Maybe he's making a tiny little bit. But generally, donuts are, generally speaking, a loss leader so that he could sell coffee. Coffee is what he makes his money on. That is his bread and butter. That is his huge margin item. He's making tons of money on coffee relative to the costs of producing it. And by the same token, I think Google getting information on people, controlling people's access to information, controlling people's access to information on the behalf of other people who want the general population to either have access or pay attention to something or not pay attention to something, is what Google is, I think, evolving into. An enormous organization that's pretty much designed for this purpose. So I'm going to link up to that Democracy Now! Segment in the sidebar, of course, and just wanted to present this as something to think about. One other thing that I wanted to make in terms of a comment related to my vote botting experience earlier this, I guess this week. There's only one video that I really care about in terms of it being vote botted. and it is a video of mine, but it's a video where I looked at a memorial quilt that was done by a protester at the Republican National Convention. And it's right on the front page of my homepage. And I'm asking as a favor to people if they would go and have a look at that and rate it. Rate it whatever you want to rate it. Because that's the only one that I actually care about resuscitating the rating a bit, because I want people to find that video and get involved in Karin's project. And part of what's there is in the sidebar for that video is me talking about, has like a little statement from her about what the quilt is about, what the aspects of it represent. And just for her sake and the sake of her project and the work that she's put into it, I would like people, if they would, to go to my homepage and just look at the video entitled Karin's Memorial Quilt. I think it's the first one in my regular videos. And if you'd all do that, I would be most appreciative. As far as the rest of it, you know what you can do. You can feel free to argue. This is Zach Elliott. Hope everybody's having a good day, except for my vote botter.